it's 95, 96.
Yeah, Dr. Landesman, I realize that your memory is not really clear on the exact date that the Brany agreement terminated, and I'm certainly not trying to trick you so that if you're off a couple years or if there's something that refreshes your recollection at a later time, I will understand that. I'm just talking generally. If you terminated the Brany, or if the Brany agreement was terminated in 1997, then that would have an effect on some of these responses. But we're going to assume for the moment that you had the discussions with Dr. Lazaroff about an exclusive arrangement at or around the time that the study was going on, or starting. Is that right?
Well, there's a difference, starting or going on.
Well,
let's see if he remembers when
do you
those
remember
discussions
when
took
those
place.
discussions took place?
We had Dr. Lazaroff and I had ongoing discussions about a vision we had relative to bringing the Sargon implant into USC and making that implant the implant of choice for USC.
Okay.
And we had numerous discussions on that particular subject.
And I believe you stated that earlier. So is it safe to say then that from the time that the contract, which we've marked as Exhibit 1, was being drafted and formulated, these discussions started popping up?
Correct.
Okay. Through the time that, well, tell me, through what time do you recall these discussions took place?
Till I left USC.
Okay. Going back then to this particular arrangement that you negotiated with Jim Derleith, you said that Brany would continue to support research and give money to USC to use it for the purposes of what specifically, if you recall?
There were no conditions put on the money that Brany Company gave USC. I could use it for, in fact, they said I could use it for anything I wanted.
And USC, in return, would continue to use the Brany system. Is that right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so there was nothing said about that.
Right.
Do you know what did they give money to USC?
They did.
Okay, and this is after the exclusive arrangement had been terminated?
Yes, that's correct.
And what did USC use that money for?
That money was put in the general pool of resources, and the money was probably used for a multitude of things.
Well, can you specify what it was used for?
I really can't.
Okay. When you said it supported research, do you have any recollection about what types of research was being performed on the Brany system with this money?
Are you referring to after the agreement was
Yes.
I really need to I need to step back and say something that I said that was probably inappropriate or not correct.
Okay.
The money that was given to me by Brany after the arrangement was terminated, I was allowed to use that money in any way I felt I wanted to use it. It did not have to be used for research.
Okay.
And so I believe I've led you to believe that Brany Company said to me I had to use it for research, and that is not correct.
Okay. But they would be supportive if you used it for research.
Correct.
As you said, to support research.
Well,
whatever it was.
There really were no conditions on how I used the money.
Okay. Now, I was just wondering if there was a specific, if there were specific research being performed on the Brany system after the time the exclusive contract with Brany was terminated.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And that's true through the time you left.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.